I wouldn't say
I withdraw.
Because on the other side, you got Abed, who arguably has a more famous meepo than
People
Nisha
probably
does.
expected
He
him to
didn't miss
pick it,
any nets that game.
Yeah.
Shouldn't Abed be know exactly how to play against Meepo because he knows exactly how to play Meepo? Isn't that a little bit how it works?
Yeah, exactly.
He tried to invade the jungle early. He was hunting for the Meepo. Right as he was like that level 5, level 6 area where Meepo's abandoned the lane. He tried to push in the lane and go invade jungle, but you know, it's kind of easy to make the read on those maneuvers. So.
I think it's just, we talked about slow-paced heroes. OD's not that hero that's going to be like, oh, he got me in lane, he killed me. I think we're going to definitely go into this game getting 2 aggressive heroes middle. And we saw it early in the tournament, it was Chris Luck versus someone. They killed each other at level 2. And I think that's honestly when Abed and Nisha are at their best when they're playing aggressive. So give them both aggressive heroes and just let them duke it out.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Let's not have any Yapstor and Crit coming into that middle lane. Just have a pure 1v1 mid lane. Actually, we talk a lot about matchups in terms of players. Obviously, you know, Abed Nisha is the main one. But we haven't really talked about Arteezy versus Matuma, man.
We haven't. And they are very different.
They are very different.
I think it's because they really aren't the star players of their team anymore, right?
Just lounging.
I feel like we see the chair go down a little bit further every time we
time.
get the camera on him.
They are very different, Grant. Go on.
That was it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's got
it
different
is, right?
names, different heights.
Well, I would just say, like, Arteezy, right? He used to be, like, the face of EG for a long time. Sumail came around, kind of took that, and, like, you do. Arteezy is probably the most beloved player, but when you come to this, like, Abed is the one winning them the games when they're winning games.
Especially if Ramses isn't on the playmaker. I think that swapping them just works much better for the squad. If you're going to give away like this first 2 Monkey King, late pick that Venomancer for Ramses and just give Artur the Razor again. Like, they've won every game he's played Razor. And I feel like the EG BKB timings is really when they feel most comfortable because it naturally gives them openings to like start fights. All of a sudden, you have these 3 very talented players that are all now indestructible because they can just pop BKB and make a play. I don't know, we're just kind of talking in circles at this point. Just pick something that fights.
Did you just mention that if you give Arteezy Razor, I haven't lost with him yet?
Like
you are
step,
correct, Kyle.
He is not wrong.
Thank you.
You know what? They should also play
Cherish this moment. I know it doesn't happen very often, so, you know, gloat with it, you know. You can sit there for a little bit because we still have some technical problems, unfortunately. Still trying to connect, and hopefully we'll be soon, but we're going to go to a quick break. I bet you guys thought you still had to look at a timer for 1.5 minutes. We got you. Game 3 of the Grand Finals, and we're in a draft. So let's talk about Dota. Let's talk about these bans. Asian Operation, by the way, still in the pool.
Monkey King gone, as Kyle said. Just get rid of it. It's the fast-paced hero. They'll pick it first phase. You don't know how to deal with it. Boom.
It also provides Secret much needed. It just does so many things for their draft. It's it's versatile. It provides vision. You have physical damage and team fight and a stun and it's a strong laner. Let it go.
Yep. And if you're not first pick, I really do think you're gonna ban Doom every time now.
Yeah. I think you're on point with that. And the AA ban from EG once again. Secret, yep, gotta ban the Wisp. Now giving away first pick. Treant is a possibility for sure.
Lich is still in the pool.
Lich is that's a good point.
That's new.
That is
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's
Enchantress is there as well.
I think they'll pick Lich.
If you go Lich as EG though, because you don't like playing Lich into Enchantress, do you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you pick Enchantress, I think they'll still take Lich, but no, they do.
What if you just go Ench Tree on Secret? Or maybe even Ench Shaker. I really like their Shaker against Lich drafts. Because you don't really want to outlane Lich, but if it's a very gankable hero. So I'd like to see Yaps are able to just play 2 lanes. Help secure middle as well.
Something that's very good against Lich is reach, I think. If you can stay away and kill the Lich from a distance, heroes like Shaker are a great example. I think Enchantress, like you said, is also okay. That's one way to do it. You make the Frost Shield a lot less effective if you can outrange the effect of it, right? This is a hero with reach. They might ignore the Enchantress entirely and get Shaker. I still think that is a very likely option. Or did any cores get opened up with this monkey ban? What did EG not ban this game that they banned last game? Because the Mag and AA were definitely bans in the last game.
No. Do you know?
It was just a bunch of supports. It was Lich, AA, IO, Disruptor, and then Mag Doom.
Okay.
So.
Oh, it was the Lich itself.
It was just the Lich
right,
that
and they've
opened
got
up.
it now. Yeah.
Tiny was left out there from the first go-around. We haven't seen a Slark in the first phase yet, which I think is more likely for EG, because they have the Lich.
Oh. And you're against the Wyvern. You don't feel too bad as a Slark.
Yeah. So that's something I would be a little bit scared. Is there that big of a difference in drafting TA early? When you have first pick, and then you go into the second phase.
Yeah, it's definitely better as first pick if you want to first phase it.
I think they're going to do it. They might do it here.
Yep. I like it here.
Oh, no. They'll do
Dang.
it instead.
All right.
You already know the... They don't have much to catch you yet.
I think
But
this
they
is
only are 2 picks in.
They are, but it's like your support hero and either your other support hero or your off laner, which are usually your catch.
And it's also, I think, a good read from EG, recognizing that it's not that Abed's hero pool is limited, but there's a very specific subset that their drafts built around make the whole squad look better, and it's specifically him on Storm and TA. And I do agree Storm against Clock and Wyvern is ideal, because it also provides the necessary reach and catch, which this entire series, the team losing has been lacking.
That was a good sign.
That was a
The
good
farming
sign.
simulator one. I like
There's
that one.
tractors everywhere.
Dude, there are tractors everywhere.
Get a picture of Secret and EG in front of them.
All right, we got the openings. Clockwork Winter, Wyvern, Lich, Storm. Do we have a preference? Because I've heard good points from both. Like, is there one you particularly like more?
It's tough to know team secrets because they can put either of their 2 heroes on anyone. Meanwhile, for EG, a little more telegraphed. Fly's obviously going to play the Lich. Abed's going to play the Storm. So until we see like that, the actual 3-4 on secret, it's tough.
I think the secret opening is a little bit more flexible. I feel like Storm kind of demands a specific type of game, whereas Wyvern Clock can play both skirmish fights, team fights, and have solid laning. I think Storm could be slightly worrying for EG. I still think it's a good pick, don't get me wrong, because you're picking for the player and for the team and for the meta, so it's definitely not a bad choice at all. But I'm concerned about the laning, that this is very telling, and not only do you now get to counterpick mid, but I think this is the kind of game where you gank mid as the Absol.
Yeah.
Shut down the Storm before he hits 6, slow him down.
What's with the lone druid ban? We've mostly seen it against Koikfa, but he's not here.
It's just
Like top
one of those
man.
heroes that I think you've got to be afraid of in general against Secret. It's something I've had my eye on thus far.
And it
This is
wins the mid matchup against Storm really hard.
Yeah, really hard. And in addition, Storm hates playing against heroes like LD. You don't have much presence in the early to mid game, and Lone Druid can just straight up win off first Roche, so.
And with any decent reactions on Lone Druid, if Storm jumps you, press
Easy
your ulti,
roar.
the transform completes, and you're like insanely tanky.
Yeah.
Listen, Synderen's all about his brain power when it comes to analyzing these drafts, but I'm going to go with my heart here. I actually like the Storm shirt opening more. That's just because Abed's been feeling himself. I mean, he played that Storm game against like 4 different counters. He still owned. He was not just a space creator. He actually was the win condition in the end. He ended that game because he was so good on it. So I think EG, just put your faith in Abed to perform.
The Timber Band makes me think Secret could be thinking about Slark. It's been one of their replacements to MK for Matumba Man. I don't really like the hero here, but it's possible.
Which hero?
Slark. I'd much prefer to see like an Ember Spirit. I think that hero's been forgotten, and I don't know why.
Yeah, really, it has. We saw it once with Vici Gaming like in the last 3 days, and that's about it. Why do you think? Just, honestly, they just forgot about it, Ish?
Kind of just forgot about the Ember.
Ish.
Yeah,
Hey, it's believable.
it's a lot of heroes.
It's more believable than forgetting about the Ironborn, that's for sure.
Do you
what
think
I was
that
thinking.
EG previous game forgot about the meepo?
Huh?
Yeah.
You know, they can
Could be.
They
forgetting
probably-
heroes is a thing, right?
That's what we talked about in these best of fives, right? Like it is like you have to just pace yourself.
Yeah. We do see the Phantom Lancer ban. And of course, Secret is the one with the ban into pick, which we have seen be successful so far in this series.
PL is very good against both of these secret heroes,
Yeah.
so I think it's a solid ban, even if one of your later picks could be good against Lancer.
And it's
Don't
also
worry about it.
because you don't mind playing Clock against Naga, you hate playing against PL. And in a game where Clock can't kill a core, you just kind of feel worthless. So I think that's a very apt ban. They're also very limited, the safe lane pool is very limited now. No Mag, MK, Lifestealer. So there's nothing you really feel is on a similar power level.
Oh.
Ooh, they take the TA away from Abed, but I mean, they already know their matchup. How does TA do against Storm?
Good.
pretty even.
in the lane. I think she wins in the lane a little bit, but both of them can go back to the jungle very easily.
Yeah, Storm does better than he used to because of the
remnant change.
Or the pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still really think this is going to be a game where the 4s will be rotating toward mid. You want the Clockwork to try to gank Storm before he's 6. You want the Tiny to toss TA into the tower and get Storm that extra kill and that extra bit of farm. Both of them will...
super dependent, independent offlaners, right? So the
Yeah.
force can roam.
I mean, I'm counting on the Clockwork being 4 here, which isn't even necessarily going to be the case. Now it probably
Looks like it's not.
That's
now it's position 3.
probably a Zyclock. Yep. Slark still looks pretty solid for EG, but you're against a lot of burst damage. I really like the Lion pick. It's, I think, underutilized, and it's also one of Puppey's iconic heroes. And as it's Lion versus Storm, right? This has been a counter pick since 2005. So
Would you rather
Storm did not
have
exist in 2005.
Puppey on Lion or Yapstor on Lion, assuming the other one plays Winter Wyvern?
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I think they both play amazing Lions. They're two of the best, so you have them in the same team. That
think
also
you want
probably means EG can't...
Like, who would you prefer farm on, right? That's the question. Winter Wyvern or Lion?
I think Lion just because he counters Storm so well. I think if you can get any reach on Lion, like Blink Dagger, Itherlands, Force Staff, whatever it is that can help you.
What is happening here?
Hey, good on you, man.
Yeah.
Make sure to get your
Respect.
homework done.
Yeah.
That is absolute
Education is
respect.
important. You don't want to end up like one of these schlubs here on the stage.
that's true.
The sum is 200, by the way. Thank me later. I know that one by heart from back in calculus.
Can you
If
repeat
you say
that?
it with
Grant,
enough,
do you remember Cal?
if you say it with enough
200.
conviction, it's believable.
I believe it.
Wow, that is a very
There it
ambitious
is.
Naga into a Lion, but it is one of the counters to TA. It's why the PL's banned out. Illusion cores against TA are quite difficult to play. E.g.,
I love
you have a
that.
Storm and a tiny high reach. Now you just have Illusions for vision. It plays itself.
A lot of people were picking Clock into the Naga Siren earlier, right? Just that reach of being able to grab her after she tries to song reset. You can trap her in the cogs with the battery assault for a little while until she finally gets something off.
All of Naga's cast times are too long to ever go off against battery assault. None of the spells can be used. I'm positive.
Yes.
Actually. You can't cast
You
anything.
definitely cannot Song or Illusion, but you could, you can't net either.
net-
I mean, she just mantis
You
at
can
some
cast
point.
it. Yeah,
That's a
you
real
need a
problem.
100%.
But
So I'd like to, and Secret have last pick, keep in mind. I'd expect to see them last pick something that just allows them to end game. I think Emperor Spirit has got to be on your mind as a ban for EG still, because I look at this draft from EG and I just don't think you're ever killing an Ember, and thus far I don't know how you're going to outlane it. Of course, Ramses' hero is the last pick. I could
don't
see a Venomancer for him.
I like the option of Dragon Knight for Secret, actually. Matoma Man safe lane Dragon Knight. I think that's the kind of hero that
What?
could win this game.
Why don't we see that hero?
Secret have played it a little bit. They played it in a Darkseer strategy, I think.
Yep. They played it twice, both on Nisha so far.
Yeah, and they played it against Storm Spirit, I think, in at least one, if not both of those games. It's a fast stun. You're a tanky hero. Storm can't really jump on. You're always a threat in the fight.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Knight is pretty good against Naga Siren because of the tempo, and early on she can't really touch him at all until she gets many items.
I feel like it's just affected by the power creep. Like, you think about the other strength cores you play, like Mag, Monkey King, Kunkka, all just feel better on paper than a Dragon Knight as to what they give to a game.
There is
It's a
that
big
X
ban.
factor of tower push, though, which is
Okay. That's I like that because, I mean, you had BKB cancel, but it's just a team fight EG could pull off Naga Song into Enigma Black Hole. That's
Any sort of
something.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think Veno for EG makes the most sense here. If you look at the way they would be able to team fight, as long as Ramses gets his ult off, you're going to win an engagement. And right now, I feel like EG, if they have a vision advantage, they should be able to take the team fight quite easily. It's really just not getting jumped by the Lion or Clock.
Is there any cheese heroes for Secret that are still in the pool?
It would be a
Like,
Matu
honestly.
hero, right?
Yeah.
What's Matu cheese heroes?
it's actually a good Meepo game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But
you want something that bites a little bit more instead of like that static presence, something like Pango. Just trying
I
to
could
have.
see, yeah, Pango's not bad, but
I don't think Matu plays that at all. Actually.
yeah, no, it's like, yeah, we need a one position. I think you need more
What did
damage
you mean
out
for
of it.
EG?
Are we talking about
I think
EG?
EG?
Yeah. I don't know if Ramses has played Pango.
I have not seen a Ramses Pango.
Pango is so-so just because there's a couple of counters, right? In Curse and even Hookshot can buy a little bit of space if needed, and then you can cock him away. I don't know if that interaction was ever fixed, where if you cock someone, if you cock Pango at the perfect moment, you actually end rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Yeah.
What about-
I think that's still the case, actually.
What about a Leshrac in this spot for Secret?
I like it as for a similar reason as the Dragon Knight, but I think the DK still might be a little bit better for that extra stun.
I just feel like you have the lockdown thanks to the Lion Clock. You need raw damage because your 3, 4, 5 right now aren't really providing any. TA has 0 AoE as well, so I'd love the core that could also shove lanes out.
There
Nice
is the
versus
lane.
Omni,
Of
too,
course.
in the lane.
They're both good. I like it.
I mean, Secret have taken the pace. I like it quite a bit, just the fact that they're able to run down towers now. They've got this early Roshan advantage, too. Like, if they walk away with lanes, they get the early Rosh, they're going to take map control, and we're just going to see a repeat of game 1 and 2.
Yep, I really like Secret's lineup here. I think that they'll be able to control the mid game, which to me is the secret to Dota nowadays.
I only have one question, though.
It's over, or are we seeing sort of a chance for this a bit more brawling early on? We've had 2 games that have been very one-sided. It should have the setup for both teams to make plays and both teams to be able to scale.
Yeah, I think the last pick, I was also thinking about the same thing as Kyle was mentioning it too. I think it's always going to be great when you're playing versus these illusion heroes, of course, versus like the Nagas, the PLs. It's a great setup, but it's also just a good game because he's versus Omni Knight as well, and also it's another stun. Look at the amount of lockdown that they have and the follow-up that they.
Yeah, and in they go, Arbed. The 3-man vortex, crit with a follow-up avalanche. Once more, he's laying down the remnants. BKB comes out from Nisha. It's finally out on him. He's trying to look towards Ramses. They have to nullify. The hook shot, the setup from Yasuo. Ramses, he's down. They killed off the Omni Knight. What can they look to now? Nisha turns towards Arbed. Arbed still with a man of good to zip down to the low ground. He's got the arcane rune ticket as well. Curse is there. Zai getting the kill on Fly. Buyback from Ramses. Buyback from Fly. Nisha's in trouble. Nisha is dead. No buyback on the TA. He's gone for 90 seconds at EG. They're ready to jump for more. Matu's mana being dread. Arbed in one spot. The 2-man vortex. The new dead on Matu. And they get the triple for Arteezy. 2 heroes without buyback. Zai, he fought back for this one. He's trying to hide. The vortex dragging them. And Matu back in. The illusions of Arteezy doing so much work. Secret, they cannot deal with them. Puppy, he'll fall. Ultra kill for Arteezy. Zai, he's going to go down as well. The chain frost finishes him off. GG is called. And EG will take game 3.
He gets the rampage right at the end of it, right after the game. Does get called, but man, EG just ramped up the pace so much in this game.
What a game.
I think the most exciting thing I've ever seen around that Roche pit, it's like 16 minutes in, we're having a 5v5, 3, 4, 5 buybacks come out, 1 from each, 2 or 3 from each side, just constant battles in Secret. They don't know what hit them.
I mean, they don't. Looking a little bit lost after that one. I mean, it was an amazing display from both squads. I mean, what is going to be the biggest question Secret's going to be asking themselves after that one? Is it going to be around the BKB on Nisha? Did they need it to get away with some of those mid-game fights better?
Man, I think one of the biggest things you have to ask yourself is, EG opened up with Storm Spirit. Secret tried to address it with some counter picks and still weren't able to because of the way that EG played and set it up too, with Ramses supporting.
For EG, right? Straight into the banning phase from there. It's pretty much the same as
All right, there's something happening here. EG did not ban AA for the first time with first pick, so Puppy is probably debating right now what to do about IO, Doom, and AA.
Yep.
There's 3 right now. He could take any 2-for-1 trade if he wants.
Do you leave, I'm questioning if you pick AA into Doom, or like rather, take AA over Doom. They're gonna just get rid of it, okay.
I
can dig
think
it.
if you're not first pick, you're not dooming the Wyvern.
I don't know if I like this.
Either.
I think Secret just immediately AA +1. You could still Wisp, but I don't know if you want to do that into Wyvern, and as we discussed, you don't really want to play Wisp as Secret.
To be fair, like I feel like AA, it feels really good when it's countering certain lineups, but if Secret don't pick that lineup for you, then that first pick is going to look a little lackluster. Meanwhile, this Wyvern is effective in all lineups, so... Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very open, and this is just one of the edges you have when you're a game up. EG have the luxury of sort of, you know, you can't make any mistakes here as Secret. EG, you can take chances, right? You can have a more pocket strat in mind, whereas Secret, you're trying everything in your power just not to get outgunned here, because you have just, you know, no games to lose left. And just to, back when they played at Birmingham, I like that they stole the Tiny from Kraid. You don't want to give that away again, but in Birmingham last year, when these two teams met and the series went to 5 games, it was the same here, where they just traded games until Secret won the title. However, they had won the first. This time, EG have won games 1 and 3, so maybe that'll be the difference maker.
It's all about the mind games. Is Wyvern IO a good combination of supports? I don't think so.
No.
It's playable.
Playable, but not aggressive, right? We want to see aggression, I think, from both teams.
It's one thing what we want to see. The other thing is what's going to win the tournament, right?
That as well. Well, I mean, do you think like a Winter Wyvern IO support duo?
I think it's playable, for sure. If you're not playing against anything that deals with the sustain, you have 2 heroes, you have 2 saves, you have a BKB piercing stun. It kind of demands, I want to say, an active carry and another stun, since neither of your supports really have very reliable setup or catch. But in this meta, we've seen plenty of strategies that didn't necessarily have the most active supports in them, just building around a strong mid-game timing.
And I think EG are in a really cool spot, again, where as first pick, I see them just going TA if Secret don't grab something here that denies it in some way. Ooh, wow, that's a very early morph.
Oh.
Was banned last phase, and I believe, was it banned second phase the previous game? I think it was last overall.
It was last overall, banned in the previous game, and it was ignored in the game before that. And the game before that ignored as well.
It's also a preemptive counter to a potential Wisp gyro, but you could have also banned the gyro. I think it might just be Secret's comfort, right? They've needed to replace the Monkey King or Magnus
by
opener.
the way. That deserves an applause, yeah. Thank you. That's for you guys, by the way.
Hashtag Secret. So there's a couple of, I think the biggest point here is exactly the replacement of Monkey. What Secret can do with this pick, they have 2 excellent players on this hero. Nisha plays it mid in the right matchup. Matsu plays it in the safe lane. They could swap lanes. This still leaves them open to get something like Lone Druid and have flexible lanes. And the matchup against Winter Wyvern is good. You can turn into Wyvern, you use Arctic Burn, turn back into Morph, you have insane attack range, you get the extra magic damage coming in.
It's just necessary, I think, because they don't have the luxury. Like Mag, Monkey both sort of perform the same role as a Morph from the safe lane in that they're actually engaging first in fights. You can just go, right? And that allows Secret to play around it. I like this from EG. You know, Abed has been the key to your victory thus far. He can't play Storm. Well, give him his other comfort hero, the TA. I don't believe they've lost with this in the main event thus far.
Got to pay good attention to the bans now. So obviously TA has a couple of bad matchups. They're going to ban the Viper first. Could see a potential Huskar ban. It's a strategy that Secret haven't been afraid of using in the past. Nisha plays a great Huskar in the right game.
I'd rather, I think, see PL get taken out since EG's first pick. I don't think you fear the hero with 2 selections remaining.
What about the Venomancer that you were
there's no way Secret pick PL.
Against Morph?
There's no way Secret pick PL with Morph. I don't think that's something EG should be worried about. You think so? I mean, it's technically possible. I just think you're putting a lot of
real greedy.
You're putting a lot of stress on Ramses making every move.
I would like Veno for Secret. I know Zai plays it quite well. I'm not sure if they'd feel how they feel about it. I just think it's underpicked thus far. Because it's, again, like TA is a fantastic hero, don't get me wrong, but I think it's similar to when we saw Enigma early picking PL all the time until people addressed it like, we're just countering this Phantom Lancer like hard. And suddenly he's playing against Leshrac Timbersaw. Good call, Sind. I think that also could be the direct, like that's just what EG wants to prevent, right? They've beaten Secret effectively 3 games now straight up. They just lost to a niche pick, right? They don't want to get cheesed. They're just confident playing in a fair game of Dota 2, so.
That is a fair point. You should still consider the Meepo. I think Wyvern is one of the best supports against it, but a very good Meepo player can play around it with the right decision making. So,
but then you have Morphling Meepo. I don't know about that one.
I'd still be worried about a Drow lineup because you have TA. They did something like Drow Slardar. I think that would actually be really sick with Wyvern up against a Morphling lineup as well.
Yep, this to me is a perfect time for EG to go for something like a 4th pick Drow Ranger. That's like right on brand for them. You 3rd pick either your crit or your fly hero. Let me rephrase. You 3rd pick your crit hero. Fly plays the Wyvern. Like for sure.
You'd want that, but probably won't happen. I think crit's been on this Wyvern a lot more.
Yep.
I might see a crit Shadow Shaman perhaps.
I like that a lot.
It gives them the ability to push towers, and it's good against Morphling, but the tiny matchup is pretty rough. Like, Shaman just hates being repositioned. It's so bad.
But I think that it works with the way EG would want to be playing,
I think
right?
so, too.
You have a faster pace, and TA with the protection of wards is quite nice. And it's actually Secret that banned the PL.
Okay.
Tree still out there as well. Into the second pick phase.
This means Naga is available, but it's a hero that Morphling doesn't mind too much playing against. He can turn into Naga, make mirror images as well, take the fight.
EG could potentially look at an OD as well, like up against the Morphling.
10 seconds remaining.
I'd love to see them
OD
just grab
safely,
tower
yeah.
push. I think the Rasta is really great. I like that pick a lot for them, just to get the natural tower pressure.
Geniuses turn.
There's the tree. Like
There's
Cat.
that treant.
Yeah.
Still a very good hero. Dumpsters tri-lanes, heals your towers, is invis, gives you just a lot of information on the map without having to commit too much. You get a lot of base damage on your support heroes now.
Yeah, just a bit.
Two strongest ones.
It could be a core tiny, keep in mind.
You could be.
It's possible.
It's possible, but
It's
not
Dota.
likely.
It's Dota. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
So I was looking up some of Abbott Templar Assassin stats because he does indeed have, he hasn't lost a game this tournament with it. In his tournament lifetime, he's played Templar Assassin a fair few amounts, 70% win rate. That is mad high.
It is. Especially on a hero he does often get countered on.
It's not as if they're getting last pick TA. You know, this is something, even when he was on Fnatic, they were willing to first tier.
They do it.
still go for the IO.
All right.
What about Slark here instead of the IO Gyro? IO Slark?
It's pretty solid here. I'd like that.
So build against
Yeah.
Morph and stuff.
I want something that abuses the sustain mechanic of Wisp, specifically. I feel like Gyro is all right, but again, you're playing into Morph. Just don't pick it into the hard counter. I like Slark a lot. It's also very good against both Tree and Tiny.
And then you still got all the reset items if you do, or heroes. If you do go the Slark, you have Abaddon, Omni Knight, and Timbersaw is another big.
I think Timbersaw, right? After I saw the Viper ban, I was like, I think Ramsey's just gonna snipe and just take it.
Secret are
strengths
really
and
low
four.
on time. There's a lot of adjustments to be made. I don't think they were expecting this third pick IO.
Yep.
We kind of passed over it a little too. They go the Ench, which made it through. I guess we didn't talk about that hero after the game one. A lot of
This
heroes.
makes Slark even better.
Best of fives just have their own magic to them, you know? It's always so fascinating to see what happens when you go down the stretch.
Fun.
It also
Especially
makes-
Puppy and Fly.
IO second phase, Ench fourth pick for Secret. We start taking Tiny away. First phase Morphling, you know. Like, there's no way this draft would have happened game one. Like, 0%, literally 0% chances it would ever happen game one.
5 seconds remaining.
You'd love to see it.
EG
So I think
needs some stuns.
Yes, exactly. They need something that goes in and uses IO so that TA can find a target. But what options do you have that lane well against the Enchantress and gives catch? That you also would want to play against Morphling, right? That's the other thing.
I think Slark's still looking like your best option.
He's
but
okay.
I still feel like something that hits towers would be nice. You could also go for the route like Timbersaw, but Slark it is.
As you said,
Maybe there's nothing better.
Yeah.
It will be that Slark.
it is quick, right? I think they're going to play it a lot like Seeger, where the Slark's going to get like his Diffusal and his Ags, and then the TA honestly becomes the harder parry in this.
But it's about staying on map, right? You've got a Wisp and a Wyvern. You're going to have plenty of sustain now. If you can take a couple early towers, it becomes very difficult for Secret to play when you consider that the 2 cores they've revealed thus far have no ability to make plays. They need a lot of time to come online, and notably, they're very low on wave clear right now. You don't feel good if your Treant is the only hero with a true spell to clear waves.
And that is only allowed because they have Train Protector in the first place, right? That they can actually defend these towers. And Evil Geniuses, I think, are still going to have, that is still a problem they have to solve, right? How do we actually commit to finishing off these towers?
I think EG need to ban Leshrac. I think it's way too good this game.
And I like the Omni ban from Secret. You know it's a Ramses hero. I wouldn't mind a playmaker for him, but I'm not sure what's left. He could potentially go for his Centaur, but
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure what else EG are considering here. Are they actually going to ban OD over it?
So we're looking for a niche hero on the side of Secret, and we've seen him play Arc Warden quite a few times. Is this still a good Arc game? We have also seen EG banning it out a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work against TA?
Winter Wyvern, Slark, and TA, I think are all they're capable of getting on top of her.
Morph is your win condition. You need something that stabilizes your mid game and doesn't just get you run over. Because EG, they can play with so much pace. They get a pick off, they get Roche. Suddenly there's traps and a Slark all throughout your jungle, and nowhere is safe. Then you have, of course, global mobility from the Wisp. Wyvern and Treant, your only BKB piercing abilities at the moment, other than the impetus of the Ench, of course.
So knowing that you're going up against a Templar Assassin, is there any hero that would tick all those boxes that would do what you want it to do?
I'm not seeing nothing that wouldn't get crushed by Slark, right? You can't go. You would consider something like a Bat Rider here. It's an amazing hero, but I don't know if you want to play it when there's a Slark in the game.
So they took away the Omni, right? The Abaddon is still out there, and it gives you that committal to pushing towers. I almost feel like that maybe could have been a better ban for Secret, just because it does solve one of those issues. They don't have anything to catch or start fights, but if they do get that role of being able to take a few towers into a Roshan, then that's just a net worth of
2 seconds.
Ooh, Bat
Rider.
That might be a deny pick, in truth. It's excellent here. It's actually incredible matchups against all 4 Secret heroes, and they still have issues because they need to address the Slark and the TA still, and now you have Bat Rider problems, and none of your heroes are comfortable laning against him at the moment. That's a really cool pick from EG. It's also amazing synergy with Wisp. They had the team fight, now they have the point lockdown pick off. I have no idea what Secret go for here. They have 12 seconds.
How good is Ramsey's bat? It's pretty good, right?
I have not seen in so long.
They're running low on time. Yeah,
There's the last track you called, Send.
I think there was no real better option. You're not happy to face this bat, but you have to play for your own strategy's success, right? Rather than if you have last pick and you need to really solve a big problem, you're not really happy with that. Yeah. The solution to Bat Rider would not fit your own strategy, so you're committed to your own idea. There's too many good points about Leshrac this game. I think it could be a really close game, even though the Bat Rider has an amazing lineup.
EG have some potential to just crush these lanes, but if Secret can stabilize, their mid-game team fight is powerful, and Morphling at a point I do believe is the hardest carry in the game.
All right, let's find out if EG can take this home or if Secret will force out the 5th game in this grand finals. Let's head over to OD Pixel and Fogged.
Signature heroes being played by people that haven't gotten to play them in a very long time. Matumba Man playing his Morphling. He hasn't gotten to play this one in, I feel like in ages. I feel like Nisha always is the one that does end up playing it lately, at least for this squad. But yeah, this time around, Nisha says, move over, Matu. I want to play Leshrac, and you're going to get to play your Morphling.
I mean, this is one of the things that has been brilliant for Secret sort of through this run, through the tournament. A lot of flexibility between their core players on where they want to lane and play the hero.
Yeah, and we're going to see how much Yapzor can actually do on the Tiny this time, because the roles are reversed, right? He's playing this time ways to protect each other now on the side of Secret.
Back up they go. RTZ taking a huge amount of damage from the 2 of them as he starts to step forward. Nisha just resumes work, bringing down these barracks. The range racks will fall. They'll turn towards the melee. EG with just the 3 of them alive. What can they do to push them back? Arteezy tries to lead in. The Linkers will be popped. He gets him with a pounce on the side, but a force gets Zai back to safety. The bash there onto Nisha, but still there isn't quite the damage. He gets thrown up into the air. BKB looking for the lasso. They'll get it, but the Lotus again. It keeps him there.
Arteezy's dead.
Lassoed in place. Arteezy has to buy back. Fly uses the curse to try and set up for something as Arteezy is moving back over. Yapzor's in. The burn from Matu secures a second double kill for the Morph. A second buyback out from EG. As Secret, they push on. They'll finish this second set of racks. It's a 26k lead, and EG, they just cannot deal with Secret right now.
They just have to commit too much to try to go for a single kill. How are the BKBs looking on the side of EG? They still have Arteezy's up at the moment. TA and Bat Rider on cooldown.
Wants to start something with that BKB, though he's not getting a lot done. Again, Matu just combos down crit immediately. Crit gone without buyback. A second kill for Zai as Abed will buy back inside of the fountain. He's getting hit by the impetus. It's Ramses. He's healed up, but they'll wait it out. They'll kill him off. A double kill for Matu as he's now dead for 85. They'll go towards the Mega. It's over. GG is called. Game 4 goes the way of Secret and brings the series to a 2-2. And we've seen it already once from Secret before this series, an incredibly dominated game. They do it again here. Despite EG's best efforts to slow them down in the lanes, they adapt, and Matu, after such a slow beginning, has an incredible game on his Morph.
Yeah, we looked at like, damn, EG's lanes, they set it up really nicely for themselves, but Secret, they salvaged that just because of the way they swapped lanes and just moved things around, and I feel like I mean, everybody actually on the side of Secret feel like they did so much work. Yaps are getting it.
I'm going because this game, and what we've seen from these two teams so far.
Oh, maybe I mistyped that one. Sorry. Good try.
I love fans.
No, I actually am hyped because I'm hoping that this is going to be like a very active game, like the third game we had in this series. I feel like that's going to be the style of game we're going to see.
I agree. I think both teams realize you just got to brawl. Like, the game is so fast-paced. They're going to pick these. I think we're going to see big team fighters. We might see an Enigma. I don't know. I think we're going to see big team fights.
I think the thing, if you look at the draft, Wyvern's been first two'd every single game thus far. It won the first two, lost the last two. I think that this is a hero that should just be ignored in the first phase now, because to your point, the teams have increased the tempo, and the squad with the stronger mid game has seemed to win. They're also picking higher reach, and that's what beats Wyvern. If you see just ults used for peel instead of for big team fight clashes.
By the way, can I give some respect, extra respect even for EG, because this is going to be the 8th game of high-level, high-tier Dota they're playing today.
That's rough.
That is incredible. That on itself is an incredible feat.
Yeah, I've seen Kyle struggle after 2 games of pubs.
I mean, we're 2. What do you mean? I've seen him struggle in just 1.
Sometimes you get off, you start poorly.
Well, you did play with Rich, to be fair. I think
I don't
that's a
blame
struggle
you.
in itself.
5 seconds remaining.
So there's the Doom, Lich, Storm.
I
Monkey
think it's
team still
scary
in.
is
that the third
that
time?
Secret left open an Ancient Apparition first pick
Yeah.
opportunity, right? And so they clearly had an opening in mind that wasn't the Morphling, I assume, because you probably wouldn't want to play that into it. So they actually just won with kind of like their secondary opening, and they probably can still offer that Ancient Apparition and still have that same kind of opening in mind.
It's a really good point, and because again, EG first picked Wyvern, right? You no longer have the luxury. You don't want to run 8 Wyvern supports in the first 2.
Nope.
You're just asking to get run over.
Have Secret banned Lich before as first pick?
Secret has
No.
not previous game,
Evil genius.
not the game before that, not the game before that. No.
Okay, it's a change up.
Also, Monkey King and Magnus still in the pool as well.
Yeah.
Both of them. IO, which we've talked about. I mean, one of the teams might still just first pick it.
Yeah.
I think you just ignore Wisp as both teams. It just
I
doesn't
think you
seem like
should.
they're confident.
But will they? And you know, you played against Fly for a long time. Is he stubborn, or do you think he'll ignore it?
No, I don't think either one of these teams are truly that stubborn.
Okay.
5 seconds
It's game 5, You just want to play what you're comfortable with. And at the end of the day, neither team looked comfortable with Wisp. It's not about whether or not they think it's a good hero. We all know it is, but you want to go to something more similar to your bread and butter. My curiosity is, EG, with overall last pick in this draft, who are you saving the hero for? Because they've consistently been first twoing Abed's hero, but do you really want to second pick a TA now that Storm's already out of the pool? I don't really think so.
They've been last picking Ramses' hero
A lot. When they have
A lot,
last
yeah.
pick overall, they do.
Omni Knight, Bat Rider. I want to say there was at least one more of the games where they last picked this.
This is cool because a really nice second pick opener would be Drow +1. I like that quite a bit. It also then kind of activates Abed's hero pool, right? Because all of a sudden, any ranged hero is going to look solid, or you could even go for something more like a Kunga.
I don't even.
did not, yeah, of course. Tiny first pick, that makes total sense.
I don't think EG would have banned this Arc Warden if Naga wasn't banned.
Yeah.
I agree.
I actually think they would have let it through. The question is if Secret get a secondary hero that Naga would have been good against in this first phase instead, together with their Tiny.
Tree and Drow.
Oh, the Drow after
Yep.
not seeing it at all in the first phase.
I really like this from both teams. Secret first pick Tiny, recognizing, look, our 4 position being active has been the key to winning in this series, but EG obviously were prepped for this, right? Like they saw this Tiny first pick coming and had a snap pick opener prepared. Their last band's also tailor-made for this Drow Ranger. I love Tree and Drow. Root into the arrows. It's BKB piercing damage and control.
But now you can get Monkey if you want to on the side of Secret. If you just want to comfort, you've won 3 out of 3 of your games with it.
But into a Treant, though, like, this is much more difficult from a Tumpa Man. I just like EG's. Whenever you're in a game 5, I feel like you want to simplify things. And Drow lineups to me right now are just the most natural. Like, this is good. And no matter what you pick against us, this will still be good.
So Wyvern is kind of always good against Drow Ranger, for example.
Sure.
So if you want to simplify things there.
We just don't, I don't know if you want to look Wyvern when it's lost the last 2 games.
Oh, man.
That makes more, yeah.
First
Best
Phantom
counters.
Lancer of the series.
With no Nog in the pool, you know EG is going to be looking to ban it. They did in the last couple of games, and it's your go-to Drow counter. Also very good against the Treant because you're a natural Manta buyer.
This is a really good PL pick, actually. I think EG need to spend 1 or 2 picks specifically targeting this guy, or they need to all in on winning the game before it goes too late. And in this series, that hasn't really seemed to be EG's approach overall in their drafting. They haven't been like, okay, let's pick mega push or something.
Well, you have to ban Leshrac now if you're secret, right? Like after that last game, certainly. And we've watched Liquid play it against PLs and dominate. I think you've just got to get rid of it.
We've only seen one game where Draw Ranger really demolishes Phantom Lancer, and I think that was the Vici Gaming. I think it was Eurus who like made those early rotations into the PL lane. But we've seen EG, whatever they have the Draw Ranger, they do play it a lot slower. They like to be able to play those jungles. So I think EG, they're going to either have to go outside of the comfort zone when it comes to playstyle for this lineup, or draft a better win condition.
Yep. It's going to be really curious to me what hero Abed plays and which direction they're looking to go with this lineup. Do they want to pick another core for him?
I don't think
or do they put him on something like a Kunkka?
I think
Definitely can't TA here.
TA is a mistake if they go that route. So Kunkka is an interesting idea. I kind of like it.
I'd actually like an off-lane Lesh, like a mid playmaker for Abed. I think that's when EG is feeling confident, specifically Kunkka. We haven't seen the hero in this series so far, but it's definitely still tier 1.
It doesn't really fit the bill with what they've done with Ramses, though. I feel like Leshrac is not independent enough if it gets left alone. Leshrac has to have a good start. This hero, when it falls behind as a core, it's really weak.
You do have Treant, though. You could even look to tri-lane.
Sure, that's a totally different story. But then you're leaving Arteezy alone. So
if you're banning,
Arteezy could play the Lesh. Like, that's also entirely possible. Or sorry, not Arteezy. Yeah. Arteezy kind of has to play the draw.
If you're going to ban Ramses heroes, what about the Underlord? Long looked at as one of the best counters to the Phantom Lancer.
It's really nice with the drought, too. It's just, you want frontline for him.
Yeah.
I think a Timbersaw is also a very distinct possibility. We've seen how effective that hero can be with the Treant.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So where are you going to take
I think the Timber
this?
ban is the best, actually.
Okay.
It's something EG are very comfortable with. They've played it multiple times in this tournament, compared to, say, a Leshrac, which I feel like would be a little bit out of their comfort zone, at least so far.
Yeah.
What was the other hero we were talking about?
Underlord.
Yeah.
Underlord. Yeah, same story. I think.
It's good. I mean, Lelis dominated against the PL with that Underlord.
Real quick, isn't it so cool how usually this like second ban phase is kind of a snooze, but there's so much like pressure, it feels like. This is where the game's
I don't
coming
know
down
if you've
to.
been watching Dota lately, but it's not been a snooze for sure.
Well,
this
what
is
I
the
mean is,
time
like-
where, for example, for Vici Gaming, we always see them take extra time here because this is where they define their game plan, right?
Yeah.
When the
I
teams
think
know each
just
other-
more mind games going on now, perhaps.
Sure.
When the teams know each other this much, every ban becomes really important. Like,
Yeah.
there's been so many adjustments made.
And they give away more information too, right, as to like where your draft could be going, because now we kind of understand how certain heroes match up, because we've already seen so much Dota from these squads.
Oh, it's interesting. They don't ban away any of the Draw Ranger combinations. They don't take away Viper. They don't take away OD or anything like that. They're just trying to protect their PL pick.
I think they're too slow. The key with Lesh Omni is they're incredible team fighters, and they're very strong once they get that first item online. That's what you're worried about if you're secret.
Should you be worried about the Templar Assassin, or is the PL already a
no
good
way.
counter?
I think so.
PL's strong enough counter, and it's just too slow for the way these games have been playing out.
Okay.
You get PL +2 second phase picks, and you have Tiny mid
Yeah.
to gank the TA early on. I think that would definitely be a mistake for EG.
Yeah, say you were to Huskar that pick,
Yeah.
then like she has no game, both in lane and outside of the mid game.
Evil geniuses turn to
They banned Timber
banned the Timber.
themselves. Wow.
Okay, I expect to understand this soon, but right now,
We can give you some time. It's all good.
no. So what are they scared of themselves with picking it? Is it that they're going to get counterpicked by like an OD mid, or you won't get Slark when you have PL?
I mean, it's really
So you
annoying
could've-
to
you
play
could've banned OD
Treant
and picked
against
Timber, right? I think that would have been something EG would have done 2 games ago,
Yeah.
probably.
I think you go your support here for sure. It's just, what do you want to grab against this PL?
Oh, maybe they're scared of making Batrider too
They do
good.
take the Underlord.
Well, they still made Batrider very good. That did not help their cause against that.
It's really curious to me that they're saving the support pick. Like, you know what it is? Underlord is just very solid for both teams. It's very good against the PL, but it's also very good against the Drow and the Treant. And I know Secret love putting Zai on the Underlord against the Drow. You play aggressive, you buy a Crimson Guard, and all of a sudden the Drow damage output just disintegrates.
But what's the argument for taking Underlord over Timber? If you pick Timber, you had a ban.
And it's great against the Underlord.
You could have banned the OD, right?
Well, you were looking.
Is there something else left?
If it was Timbersoft, they're thinking about Underlord, and then they mix it up with Shaker as well. Then you've got 3 different strength heroes on top of that. Timbersoft looks really good. You want their Shaker versus the Phantom Lancer. It's also one of those supports that actually helps Underlord because you want to leave him alone, but you need that first couple of waves. Creep equilibrium is important there.
Bench, this hero first phase banned, the first 2 games, I believe. Now it's been let through almost every time. And Secret, they'll snatch it up. Zai, as we said, MVP last game. The hero does a lot of damage, not just in the mid game, in the lane. Now that you get impetus at level 1.
I feel like this Eng might be 5, actually.
Yep, I can see it as a possibility. It's just really good. You can remove the tree armor, and your impetus is going to go through the massive Magnus. Wow.
That is genuinely not considered a good hero against PL.
No, it is not.
Why is that?
Your ulti, the Bedlam, you hit illusions. You can Manta dodge or Doppelganger out of Terrorize. You can Manta out of the Brambles.
They do have this area of effect. You've got an Underlord, a Dark Willow, and a tree, and also the Gust. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have a Tiny and an Enchantress. You've got a lot of single target.
I mean, this Dark Willow is really good versus the Enchantress, but if this Enchantress then turned into the 5 that you're talking about, that makes that pick look even worse as a result.
They take the Kunkka themselves.
One of Nisha's most classic mid heroes. I was expecting maybe to see that a bit more from him on Secret. I think this was one of the heroes that really made Puppy understand how good this guy is when he was playing with Penguin. Nisha's mid Kunkka was kind of unbelievable at the time for a tier 2 team.
He had the fastest Radiance ever.
He did some, I think he kind of, I don't want to say he necessarily pioneered an armlet build because that's not really the case, but it was at a time that people weren't really going armlet on Kunkka. He started going for this combat build and just making tons of moves around the map, playing a lot faster than most other players.
It's just so good here as well against the Drow. If he goes for that armlet or just rushed halberd build specifically, you disarm the Drow, the damage output of EG disintegrates, and in addition, your mid game is just so strong with the X and the boat.
I think one more thing is that damage reduction is always really strong against, minus armor, or in this case, Drow Ranger ignoring armor. You want to be able to tank up somehow, and I think this is a great way to do it.
Yep, I like the Willow still. We haven't really discussed it, but this is just massive team fight, right? Crit also, he's on one of his favorite heroes, and he gets an opportunity to potentially ball out. Yes, Manta, you can't Manta out of everything. That's the thing. You have Pit to deal with, you have Tree and Root, now you're going to have the Willow. If you land the Bramble into the ultimate, it is a ton of burst magical damage, which is excellent at taking out a hero like Enchantress, although as we said, it could possibly be a 5 Secret. Running out of time here, have to decide which hero is Zai's.
I really like the look of a Batrider, honestly. I think it's really good. What carry can you even, or what mid hero it would be, right? Like Batrider would have a good lane no matter what. It's against Treant, Drow, Willow, and Underlord. 4 heroes that I would say it's pretty good against in side lanes. If you pick any mid hero that is good against Batrider, what mid hero can you get that is good against Bat and Peel in the game? And that also deals with Kunkka. I think that would be a really solid pickup. But I guess it doesn't have the best track record in this series. It hasn't looked that
and sometimes,
great.
you just see it lose and you're like, is it good?
Whatever.
Yeah, you question yourself, right? Both teams all the way down, by the way. Every single second used. They do the bat. Good call, Sin.
That's good.
Do you Viper here if you're EG, perhaps?
And you've got a classic Viper versus melee matchup. Maelstrom's really strong.
I could see
Emperor and Storm.
Quap, perhaps?
Quap? Against Kunkka?
I'm not sure. It depends. I think you want a playmaker that's mobile, but at the same time, you don't really have any hero that wants to be lassoed. I think perhaps Underlord, it's like, you can go the Viper archetype, or you can go for something that Abed can style on.
I mean, you want a Maelstrom hero, I think, right? I don't know if you have enough answers to Phantom Lancer otherwise.
They do the Viper. I think it's a good pick.
Okay.
That's good.
It's just that Secret have way more potential to make plays around the map.
But on the other side, right, EG, if it is a 5-on-5 fight, they probably have the answers. So we are going to see a little bit of tit for tat, I think.
Yeah.
That's the way we want it.
It is, absolutely. It's game freaking 5.
It's game freaking 5. Guaranteed final game of the series. After this game, we will have our major champion. So for the last time, make some noise, guys. Grand Finals, game 5, here we go.
Let's go, baby! It's the PL for Matu.
It hasn't been picked in 2 days. It completely disappeared out of this tournament somehow, and we were all shocked by it. But now, when we see that opening draw pick, Secret does want to bring it back. But we have seen people start to find some solutions to deal with it, in particular this Underlord. It did seem to be one of the better solutions at dealing with that Phantom Lancer. But we'll be able to see also, we have another intriguing pick too, is the Crit Dark Willow. You were, of course, already highlighted that one for a second there, but yeah, he is playing a